This is Tennessee Titans Today. I am Tom Downey, and before we break down some rookie minicamp winners and losers, if you are excited for the 2022 NFL season, which is starting to get ramped up with OTAs, minicamp, etc. here and or around the corner, show it by liking this video if you're excited right now. It is time for some rookie minicamp winners and losers. Now, just because a player is a winner does not mean they're going to be a future superstar. And just because they're a loser does not mean they're going to end up being a bust. The winners and losers, it will change drastically as the offseason moves on, but it's a fun conversation to have and look at some of the rookies who impressed or maybe did not impress early on, very, very early on at rookie minicamp. My first winner, about quarterback Malik Willis. I am not all the way on top of the hype train as some are, but there was still enough good that Willis showed in the, shells and non-pad situation at rookie minicamp. He showed the upside that we knew he had coming out of Liberty. The arm, the athletic ability, the flashes of, wow, that was awesome. And the rawness as well of, that wasn't too great. That was a mishandled snap. And, we threw a pick six to Theo Jackson, who we'll get to in a second. What I am saying with Malik Willis is this. Got to be patient. This is not going to be an instant upgrade or a starting caliber player over Ryan Tannehill. Frankly, there is a very real chance he's not active in week one and they let Logan Woodside be the backup, although I just put Malik Willis out there and say screw it. But that's just me. He needs time. You have to be patient with him. There was good and some bad at rookie minicamp. The pick six that led I'll call it pick six. It is practice after all. And there were some flashes of high-end play as well. He is not an instant starter. He was not drafted to be that type of player. So be patient when it comes to Malik Willis. And no, there is still the upside for him to develop into a potential top 15, top 10 QB, which upside wasn't really there at that same level for most of the QBs, almost all of the QBs in this year's class. Looking ahead long term now, will Malik Willis be the franchise QB for Tennessee? Not this year, probably not next year, but maybe down the road, or maybe it is next year. Whatever time frame you want, answer it for me. Will Willis be the franchise QB for Tennessee? This is going to be the pinned comment on today's video. So, if you get the ad break here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there, type in Y for yes or N for no. One of the real winners, especially for me, was Theo Jackson, the defensive back out of Tennessee, Nashville kid, sticking around this home team. And look, he kind of went under the radar a little bit. Tennessee was kind of more of the safe type of player. The numbers bear that out. 6th-round pick, a late-round pick, not guaranteed a roster spot. But Jackson did have an interception that was returned for a pick six in the Saturday minicamp practice and almost picked off Willis again. He looked like an intelligent football player and showed he belonged at rookie minicamp. And sometimes it's very obvious with these rookies early on. If they don't have it, they just look terrible. That was not the case for Jackson. And at safety, I think there's a non-zero chance that Jackson emerges quickly as the third best option. Now, Molden can play some nickel in a pinch. You could almost try Roger McCreary there if you really, really had to. Kevin Byard and Amon Hooker are an awesome 1-2 punch. Looking for a third. I'm not in love with A.J. Moore, so maybe Jackson could carve out that somewhat notable role sooner rather than later. New alert for you guys, YouTube has added super thanks to our channel here, Tennessee Titans Today. It allows you to donate outside of live videos. We don't do lives here at Tennessee Titans Today, so there's no way for you guys to super chat. But you can super thanks instead. See that icon in the third row, that little heart with the $sign in the middle? That is the thanks icon. You can click it, pick your donation amount, and edit your message. We appreciate all of your support here at Tennessee Titans Today, even just watching the videos, being a subscriber. And if you super thanks, by the way, we doubly appreciate your support. And if you do, a guaranteed shout-out coming up on a future Titans video. So if you want to donate, we would greatly appreciate it, and we thank everyone who has subbed to us here at Titans Today. Next up is wide receiver Kyle Phillips, still on the winner's side, by the way. A couple big-time catches, good body control adjustments early on at minicamp. Phillips is an undersized player. He is going to be a slot only, I believe, in the NFL. And maybe you don't see him make a major impact in year one. but I do think he has a very good chance of making this roster. Now, it's just my personal grade, so, I'm right and wrong, just like every other NFL team and front office person and draft scout, whatever you want to call it, draft nerd, maybe that's a better term for it. We're right and wrong all the time. I had Kyle Phillips graded higher than what I did Dez Fitzpatrick when he came out of Louisville. In fact, it was Phillips by a fairly decent margin on that standpoint. Now, Fitzpatrick offers the outside threat. I bet you Phillips makes this roster. And I think, especially in a player comp here, Adam Humphries style mold and role, I think Phillips could be a nice number 3 receiver for you. Probably not instantly in year 1, but in year 2, year 3, he can be a nice piece for you. Phillips was one of my favorite sleeper picks in this year's draft as a day 3 selection. And I want to hear from you guys, specifically to Tennessee. Who is your favorite sleeper draft pick? Treylon Burks does not count. Theo Jackson and Phillips all certainly make sense there. Let me know in the comments section. Next up, Roger McCreary, the cornerback out of Auburn. Very curious what Tennessee's plans to get him on the field are, but I love the player coming out of Auburn. He was certainly good in that particular area. The one big thing was Willis was going up against McCreary and didn't get got by Willis on that one there. Solid in coverage in both days as well, according to the media reports down there at Titans camp. McCreary was awesome in coverage at Auburn as well, which we certainly knew from that standpoint. Like, he was very impressive in that area. McCreary was a baller. He did not get beat in the SEC. In fact, he never really got beat in the SEC. He was impressive. He held up in man coverage, allowing just over 45% completion percentage at Auburn. 14 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, not very many yards, consistently getting the opposing team's number 1 receiver. I love what McCreary brings to a team. Curious how he fits together in Tennessee, but sounds like he showed exactly what I thought he was going to be early on at minicamp. Who do you think was the biggest rookie minicamp winner? We'll be positive here since we got to get to the losers here in just a little bit. Biggest rookie minicamp winner. Sound off for me in the comments section. The correct answer is probably Kenneth George, yet another Tennessee Volunteer who was a rookie minicamp tryout invite for Tennessee and impressed so much he got signed to the active roster. Former JUCO transfer, goes to Tennessee, barely played this year for the Volunteers, so he put his 2020 stats up there because he played like 1 game, I think, this past season. Cornerback for Tennessee. Congrats to Kenneth George. Talk about getting an opportunity and making the most out of it. You absolutely love to see it. Now, if you want more Titans news, including updates on mini camps and OTAs and rumors on free agency, trades, draft, etc., hit that big red button and subscribe. That way you don't miss out on anything that we have for you here at Titans Today. Losers time. Treylon Burks. And before we get mad at me in the comment section, feel free to get mad. I don't care. I'm not soft. I am not out on Treylon Burks. But we have to be honest with ourselves and say, yeah, when you got to leave your first minicamp practice due to alleged conditioning issues, that's not ideal. Now, Burks was fine for the second one. Don't panic on that front. I am not worried about Treylon Burks. But that's like don't love that one. And fair or not to Burks, he is being counted on significantly for this team. He will always be compared to A.J. Brown. They have similar body size, some similar strengths and weaknesses, and the Titans got that first-round pick they spent on Burks because they traded away A.J. Brown. He had a bad drop, by the way, on Saturday, but again, he'll be okay. He's a good prospect. It was a great draft pick, independent of the A.J. Brown trade. But Tennessee is counting on him. We know how the passing game went when Nick Westbrook-Akina and others were counted on to be a wide receiver too. Tennessee needs Burks. So much like Jamar Chase last year, when, he can't catch and people freaked out, you shouldn't have freaked out. Don't freak out on Treylon Burks either, but I do want to acknowledge it. Next up is Nicholas Petit-Frere, the offensive lineman. In general, rookie minicamp is not really ideal for offensive linemen to shine. You're not really in pads. You're not mauling guys. There were some slip-ups. He also jumped early a couple times. Like, false starting in rookie minicamp is weird to me. Maybe a little bit nervous being in the NFL. Again, don't panic, but there are winners and losers in life, and Petit Frere was not as impressive as some of the guys we mentioned on our winners side. So you can be me in the comments as I get ready to cheat on our final one. Who is your biggest rookie minicamp loser? Let me know in the comments right now. I am totally cheating on this last one. Jamal Carter, who wasn't even at rookie minicamp, but there was news today that Carter was placed on IR by Tennessee already on a Tuesday, ending his season. So I am absolutely cheating because I wanted a third option, and this was at least news for Tennessee. But Carter's season already appears over as he was placed on injured reserve by the Titans earlier today.